Hey folks, what's happening? Alright. How are you all doing this beautiful, beautiful morning? Let me turn the music down more and off. I wish the YouTube iOS app could run in the background. Oh, it can. You just have to pay for iOS, or you have to pay for it, like I do. I know what to tell you. Nope, close that. Go back to nighttime. I will when I go back to nights. It's that simple. Or when I go back to days. I'm on nights right now, unfortunately. Well, the sun's shining here, so it's a good day. Well, I told Pete yesterday, before he even tipped me, the madman gave me $30, which is insane. He didn't have to do that I would read Sonic.exe. Here is the link for Sonic.exe. It is a little bit sweltering in my room, so I'm going to have to turn on a fan. So you might hear a little bit of background noise. I apologize. You're probably hearing that bad boy crank up to full volume because that laptop, the gaming laptop, just likes to run it at full blast. So let me turn on a fan. I like this one. Oh. So the little light is the fan. If you would like to hide under a desk for some added spookiness. Ooh, something's touching my foot. That was a plastic bag. Alright, we're fine. So we've got 4 people in here. Let's check my messages. Alright. And I go to this. I was watching How It's Made earlier. Oh, Pip, I'm sorry to hear that. I really wish there was something I could do to help you. I'm not being facetious either. Migraines are the worst. My Chanel? It's the worst. Alright. Oh. Yandiri. Sorry, I'm not up to when you are up. I had a migraine all evening. Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Yandiri. You've recovered. I've had really bad headaches. I don't think I've ever had a migraine. I mean, I might have. I've had a couple they just put me on my knee, but they happen very rarely that I forget the pain of them. Much like what's going on with my stomach, I always forget to take my medicine. But when it happens, it'll put me on my knee. It's nothing to laugh about. High blood pressure runs in the family. Sorry to hear that. So, without further ado, this is Sonic.exe. I need something to drink, though. And I don't have anything. Let me check my fridge. I might have water. monster under the bed, don't grab my foot right now, please. Thank you. You're awesome. All right. Everybody's favorite sleep drink. We've got to put the customary dress on the sleep drink. Hang on. There we go. I just think that's the funniest thing ever. Morning drink for Chappy. Mike Lombardo, everybody. So there is no dad talking here until dad shows up. This is a dad-free zone for now. So Mike can talk. We love Mike here. Mike's my buddy. He's my good buddy. Alright, hang on 1 second. I'm dealing with a good friend. Mike can use words if he wants to. Alright. Realistic Sonic.exe. Nathan better create a how to do talking for you, Mike. So anyways, the story, I'm going to post it one more time, is Sonic.exe. That is an executable file for Windows only. Super awesome graphics. 10 of 10 would make a better movie than And how not to destroy a server. Infinity, right? So we're going to put that over here because I think there's better viewage. You know what? Let's just fix me. 452, 444. How do I... Let me do this. Transform. Center on screen. There we go. I'm centered. So, there we go. Here's the Sonic. Without further ado, I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox, as usual, and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in my mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 years. Nope, weeks. 2 weeks. I know that because I recognize his handwriting. Though, what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratched and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it's too late. and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc. You'll destroy him. But do it quickly, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. That's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird, even though Kyle's my best friend, and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. I didn't do what he asked me. I didn't think a simple gaming disc would do any bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looked like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker written Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited, and I wanted to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer, put the disc in, and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that at first, Sonic game, I was like, awesome. Because, like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw a title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now Sega 666, and the water had turned red, like blood. Except it looked hyper-realistic. Oh yeah, it's there, okay. I had to look at the image. But the freakiest thing was in that split second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with two glowing red dots staring right at me. And his smile had stretched wider, up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about what the image, and when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch, and I forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF? What's this thing doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, when I noticed something off, the background was the dark cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from the Sonic CD. And there were only 3 save files. The music was creepy. Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound. Only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image of the save file where you could preview the level you're just on was red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now, I was sure something was up. I mean, how can you play as Dr. Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy. But as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked up file 1 and chose Tails. When I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. Then I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded like an awful lot like Kefka guy from the Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shapes of red, and the text only showed Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in, the level title vanished, revealing Tails in Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing, and had Tails start running like you would in any other classic Sonic games. That was odd. What was odd was that Tails was running along the level, and there's nothing but flat ground, and a few trees for about 5 minutes. Hey, Linux. That's when the peaceful music started to lower down into a deep tones, very slowly, as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before, so I had to move him along. And he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers. And he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they had all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanging from a tree, with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off. A duck had its eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw the massacre. Apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed, after the music had stopped, Tails was running uphill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him. If not acting as if it was totally oblivious, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence, Tails walked slowly towards Sonic. Then I noticed I wasn't even moving the keyboard to make him move. So this had been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have this growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. Hey, Lou, what's happening? I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like the title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level with a different title screen, now saying, "Hide and seek." This time, I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of this area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get out of here. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could to make him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolated forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard a creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds had passed, as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping up everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he had those black and red eyes only. This time he had the most deranged grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying this torment. He was giving the poor little fox as he gained on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But when Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror, blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic, as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box by himself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with the red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black and stayed there for about 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." I was really getting freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack or some kind of sick, twisted joke or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The level looked much different. It had the ground of the scrap brain zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Gaia's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did, though not as much. More rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall, just like Tails, and looked at me as if he wasn't sure what was going on, but I made a move anyway. Lou, take it easy, Bubba. He ran down the straight path in the dark level. As he did, the screen started to flicker, red static a couple of times, and then the maddening laugh came back again. Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt the growing sense of fear, again thinking something horrible is going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then the red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but blacks on the screen, the text said, "Found you." I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came back again, and I was back at the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't. Honestly. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be a pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished into black pixelated smoke before he could even land the hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again, laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees, clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles and the screen went black, with another distorted screech noise that lasted for about 3 seconds. Another text message appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree? What the hell? Just what's going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had been Knuckles on the TV screen. His red fur darkened to a reddish gray. His dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And he had the look of sadness in his face. I began to think that those are actual characters trapped in some of the TV screens on the same files. But I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut off the game and took a break. I took a nap. I wish I wouldn't have. Because then I began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by the lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give him to us? Give us to him," and "Run away before he gets you too." Their cries died out as I heard Sonic's laugh. His laugh. It sounded a lot like a distorted Keffa laugh. "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle. Though he didn't last long." I was scared and looking around for the voice, for the source of the voice. "Won't be long until you join him and all my other friends." I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me, I saw his bleeding, black and red eyes, grinning face. I woke up in fright. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought it was wacky, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time said ... which I found really freaky. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it has the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were darkish gray purple with animated candle lights and a few darkened bloodstains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above the top of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, the red curtain sways very slowly. But whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly unpleasant. Oh, oddly pleasant. Sorry. A piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew better. This is the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turns his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he is or what's going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was happening, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation. You know, when you've beaten him at the end of the classic Sonic games, and you chase him. As we continued going along through the hallway. No, Mike, we're not done with the story. We're about halfway done. Then, I stop at the long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls had gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now eerie blue. Then we landed on another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. We'd head down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer. Took at least 1 full minute. Hey, Holly. Hey, Loco. And then I heard the horrid Kefka laugh again. Kefka. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As I did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flames now. What's that? And then I heard, black flame now. Sorry. When Robotnik landed on the third hallway, I noticed now he looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and it showed me the most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness, where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched your screen. Cigarette, not vaping. His face. Oh God, it had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw the image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black, and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. There were two small glowing red dots in those black eyes, staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face, like the Cheshire Cat, except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs. Much like the were-dog's teeth, except more vicious looking. Somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh in his lips and fangs, as if he ate some animal. I stared at the gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face. I just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with the red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard the Kefka laugh again, except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was a text. Again, though it was all messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. That was when I read the message while looking at Sonic. Then it hit me. I realized right then and there that Sonic was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys. And the game is his gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open in unnatural length, revealing nothing but literally spiraling abyss into the pure darkness before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted. So loud it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Choco, you know you can be timed out by any one of my mods. And that one's deleted. No cussing. Or cursing. Then it stopped and showed nothing but a black screen. No cussing. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. It's a curse. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu. This time, the 3rd save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray. His mustache drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke, and the blood coming out from them had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik and cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by the horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play games in more ways than one, and then he gets bored and drags them into the game. Literally drags you to hell. You kill it, Beastballs. Where'd my story go? Hang on a second. There it goes. I'm going to read that last paragraph again. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play games in more ways than one, and then he gets bored and he drags you into his game. Literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you, always, as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. But at least I managed to turn it back on for now. I sat there for 25 seconds. I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with blood stains under its eyes. Hey, Abby. Pete, sorry if that wasn't creepy enough for you, bud. It's a pretty good story. Choco. Well, I think that Sonic is evil. Here's the link for that story if y'all ever want to read it without my inflections. But yeah, that literally took me like 30 minutes to read. Can I have sweet dreams now? Oh. Let's see here. Boop. So how be everybody? I hope you're all well. Ooh, my ankle just popped and it felt wonderful. How many people we got in here? Nope, we're not doing, come on. I'm not awake when you're up early now. You look like Thor. Where's your hammer? Well, this is a safe for work stream, so I can't show it. Just got home. Cat is crying so much. A sunset in Texas. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. because in Texas, right? Right? Yeah. It was a Wang joke, Abby. It was terrible. I don't usually make those. I'm sorry. It's more like a. It's more like that. A mini screwdriver. Um. So tired. It's getting daylight here. What the cheese? Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed soon. I'm tired. You know what? So who all's still here? Say hello. Says there's 5 people in here. That's awesome. Oh, back scratchy feels so good. Abby's here, Pip's here, Pete's here, CC Games is here, Sianta's here. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's smoke Uno Moss. And then I'm gonna go to bed. That was a fun game. Story. PS4, I believe, Pete. Abby, I forgot you? No, I didn't forget you, Bubba. I just don't really like playing that game anymore. The game I'm speaking of is called Lords Mobile. Let's see if it'll... I've spent way too much money on this game. If you can catch if you've ever played this game, that's how big I am. When I say too much money, I literally mean it. While I'm here, though, I'll click that, and do that, and click that. Alright. You play Haniko, the Mysterious Cat. I got it on those platforms so I could beat Nathan Barnett. Yeah. It's nice to have you in the guild. Yeah. Well, nobody ever attacks me. They're scared of me. Ugh. Coffee makes me poop. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Don't drink coffee when you're not at home. I hope Starbucks has a nice restroom. I mean, I don't know. That's right. Kevin hates coffee. Y'all are drinking coffee, and whatever y'all, heroin or whatever y'all are doing to wake up, and I'm drinking sleep drink. But not the whole thing, because I'm only getting like 6 hours of sleep. But anyways, I think in 9 minutes, 8 minutes, I'm going to hit an hour. And I think I'm going to end the stream there. If you guys didn't know, I've got to plug my store. I have merch now. I fixed all the prices. They are much cheaper than what Teespring wanted. Let's go to my storefront. If you want the link, it's in my description, or I can post it here if I can get to it. There it is. There's my store. I pooped for myself the first time since I was a baby the other day. Wait, what? Oh, Ernie, don't you ever changed. I have to get kids off to school later, Chappy. Take it easy, Kevin. It's good seeing you, Bubba. Ow, 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 knotted hair. Anyways. Yeah. I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know how many others are planning on going to too many games, but y'all should get lots of pictures for me. I think that oh jeez, I'm getting pinged everywhere. I'm gonna start leaving these discords. They're crazy. How's the oil business? Good. Stupid long hours. I think I did the math. It's something like I'm getting at least 196 hours every 2 weeks. And we're rocking and rolling. We're going to be busy for a while, it seems. So unfortunately, fortunately, I'm going to be switching back to days. Here in a few weeks, and then I'll be on days for about a month. But then after that, I go back to nights. So it's going to be days, nights, days, nights. I wake up and sit thinking about life. Yay, days. Yeah. I have to make sure I get to bed really early on days because I have to wake up stupid early. So my streams will probably be about this long or shorter. Because it's not going to be hard for me to fall asleep right now. Just seeing the sun. Oh, jeez, I'm messing this up. Seeing the sun and then seeing the sun go down. That gets your circadian rhythm going. But like not just seeing the sun, but seeing the sun at full brightness when you wake up. You definitely don't want to see the sunrise again because then you'll get really tired. And you might oversleep. For now I am. I don't want to see the sun until I wake up. And then it's dark sunglasses and I hate my life for a few hours. So that's cool. I'm glad my truck has tents on it. Yeah. But not one of those sparkly vampires. Definitely not. I need to put fluid in this thing. Let's see if I can make it spark. Y'all really couldn't see that with the frame rate, but it sparked a little bit. Current stream schedule works perfect for me because it starts at 12:30 p.m. Yeah, Pete. Yeah, it's not my normal time though. I always get the need to want to take things apart. I'm not going to take that apart. I'm not going to take that apart. Big spark. Ooh, I saw the sparkle magic. Magic. Oh, it's all crooked. I need to get some wax for my mustache. But anyways, we're gonna put on some Burt's Bees. Burt's Bees. Buzz Buzz. Oh, hell. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here. And, once again, if you want to buy a shirt, the link's in the description. I'm pretty sure most of you are subscribed to me, so that's cool. Share it to your friends. Can I order you breakfast? No. Can you order me breakfast? No, you're way up in Canada. I can't order you anything, Bubba. I mean, I probably could, but it'd be a pain in the butt. And I think the long distance charges would get me. I don't know. This is a brain teaser I'm not good at right now. The cable's all wrapped up. Thanks for thinking about it. You goofball. You know I love you though. Aww. My little eczema spot's going away. You rarely have breakfast. I sometimes have breakfast on my stream. I'll have donuts and then go straight to bed. Because that's brilliant, right? But anyways, I'm going to get off here. Yandere, it was a nice surprise seeing you here. Pip, you know I love you. Thanks for coming to my stream. Kevin's gone. Abby's here. Abby, thanks for coming to my stream. Pete, like always, it's always a pleasure. Seansa, gotta eat, but don't wanna. Guess I'll just drink like 6. You're gonna miss me? Well, don't miss me. Just wake up early. But yeah, I love you guys. I'm gonna get out of here, and y'all have a productive, creepy day. Bye. Thank you, Pip. Good call.